had a terrible car accident that almost took my life. I was in the hospital, and the thought that came to me, and I'll never forget it, was, do you want to be in the same place you are right now a year from now, or even 10 years from now? And that just scared the heck out of me. And it was a big wake-up call to go, okay, something's got to massively change. Women are naturally, they lean towards being a caretaker. And I think that's just wired in our DNA. We want to help everybody, and that's great until you have nothing left to give. The other thing we have a hard time is letting go of people because we care, and but also realizing you have a business to run. And by holding on to someone, you're actually holding them back. Those are some of the things, but I also think that women are just superstars in business. So the way I look at it is that you need structure in business, and you need a place to put the energy. But the structure without the flywheel of energy, you're just going to have incremental growth. We live in a limitless universe. There is no limit here, on either side, or below. So you can expand your business, scale your business. There is no limit, truly. Just understanding and harnessing the power of the universe. And all I did was hold that vision.
That is her, the infamous. Yes, I really appreciate this time and being able to interview you. I have been following you for a couple years now, actually. And then you spoke at my WPO chapter in Colorado Springs. And I missed the 3-day event, so you can give me like but I've been talking to Phil and things like that. And then I just went to your event, and I really love that you created a clear model. And that's what I do with mental strength, is like this flywheel of, if you just keep repeating these things, So let's start with just like a professional introduction. I know you kind of are a serial entrepreneur. Like, there's tons of things that I could say, but what is kind of your elevator pitch on yourself? Like, how do you introduce yourself?
I would just say I love business. I think I was born as an entrepreneur. It feels like it. Business is such a big part of my life, and it's a passion. And I've built several companies over the last 40 years. The business that I do now, Pinnacle Global Network, gives me an opportunity to take all those years of lessons and wisdom and being in the trenches and scaling up, and I get to pay it forward to amazing founders and to help them scale. And so that's really legacy for me.
Yeah. So you knew you were an entrepreneur when you were young.
Well, I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. Okay. My grandfather had a women's clothing store in Kansas City, Kansas. My father, then they actually won another store in a poker game in Tulsa, Oklahoma. True story.
Those were the days, right?
I know. True story. And they went to Tulsa to see the store, to see, okay, why are they giving this store up? Like, what's wrong with it? And what they realized was that the store had a lot of potential. They just were not buying the right products for the right market. So they said, you know what, we're going to move forward with this. And then my dad scaled that across the United States. So it was the largest women's clothing chain in the 60s and 70s. And so I basically spent time with him, going from store to store. Yeah. My sister and I. And that was just being around his passion. He loved what he did. And so that really just infused onto me. Yeah. And I never really considered doing anything else than having my own business.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I was a caregiver. I went to school to be a nurse, then a nurse practitioner. Just get these skills in order to help people. Yes. I even, always a great employee, and I would, they try to, promote me to management, and I'd be like, nope, I just want to take care of people, and then now here I am. Yeah. Because sometimes it's a purpose, right?
Yes, it is, and I love that. I think it's harder to go from living in the street to becoming an entrepreneur than going from a corporate job or working for someone else.
Right.
It is such a mind shift.
It is.
To do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you go from this, I own this responsibility to, no, I own everything and all responsibility.
Yeah. So let's talk about the stress of that, like payroll, and tell us some stories throughout your business career of like when it's hard.
Oh yeah, I've had all the hard moments, plus. And things falling apart, important team members leaving, wondering how you're going to make payroll. So it's like, I got a credit card here. You do what it takes.
Yeah. One of the things that you said in Scale or Fail is like borrow money when you don't need it, and I thought that was interesting because I kind of go back and forth with, Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey, right? Like these two polar opposites of like never have debt, and then debt is good in certain situations. And I love the way you put that.
My guess is that they use other people's money when they are investing in things to grow. So they're protecting their own cash. And there's a difference between good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
So you go on a shopping spree and go wild. Okay, you're not going to get any ROI off of that. You might have a good time. But,
might have a cute outfit to wear.
And it's okay every once in a while. But it's not as an ongoing practice. So when you have a really great opportunity to, let's say, expand your business, or you need to buy a piece of machinery that's going to give you an opportunity to service a lot more clients or add another revenue stream, you want to be able to have those funds available. Yeah. Or there's a pandemic, or there's a crash, then you have access to that, and you know that you're going to be able to get beyond it. Now, obviously, the best kind of cash to have is from sales, because you don't need to pay that back. But it's much harder to get access to cash when you're having a tough time. Right.
So
it's
that was a aha moment for me as I was reading the book. I was like, oh, I feel comfortable with that, right? Like, so anyway, thank you for that.
I think for how we were raised too, it's like pay everything off. And the thing is that really to be able to have this debt that you can take equity out of and really use it to take your business to the next level is a different way of thinking.
Right. So a little bit about my story of pretty significant loss of losing children and my husband. I heard you on the stage today admitting to having a panic attack at a time in your life. Tell us about times in your life where like you had to do this whole mental strength thing and how you built yourself through those journeys.
Yeah, when you're younger, everything feels like it's so overwhelming. And in my first business, and this is my 10th company, so I've had a lot of practice. But in my first business, the business grew quickly. It was an advertising and PR firm. And that was all great until the point that I just couldn't manage it anymore. And I didn't know about leadership. I didn't know about scaling. And I had a small team, but I was micromanaging them. And I was a control freak because I was afraid of losing things.
Because you were afraid. I think that's important that people don't make that connection between control and fear. It's actually a fear response.
It is. Underneath is definitely a fear. It's like, oh my gosh, what if this falls apart? What if they make a mistake? So it's coming from a good place. But then I got to a point where I felt trapped in my own business. I was beyond exhausted. I was burned out, started getting depressed, started getting panic attacks. And I just thought something was wrong with me. And get it together, Allison. What's your problem? You should be grateful. And so, and I was making money, but I was so unhappy. And from the exhaustion and the stress, I ended up having a terrible car accident. I left that out of the story on my talk, but I had a terrible car accident that almost took my life. And it was...
How old were you at this time?
Let's see, I was 30.
Okay.
And I was in the hospital, and once I kind of came to and everything, the thought that came to me, and I'll never forget it, was, do you want to be in the same place you are right now a year from now, or even 10 years from now? And that just scared the heck out of me. And it was a big wake-up call to go, okay, something's got to massively change, because I see other people operating successful companies, and they're not, falling apart like you are. And so I began to study some of our clients, like Ben & Jerry's and Supercuts, and you didn't see the CEO standing over everyone like, you do this and you do this and you do this, And they had their systems and processes. They had leadership teams. And so the CEO is out building relationships. Mm-hmm. They're out doing acquisitions or strategic partnerships, focused on the future.
Yeah.
That really shifted for me. And so that's when I started building the Scale It method, and I didn't call it that back then, but I built it for myself.
Oh, same story. Like, I built this for my survival.
Yes.
Yeah. Same story.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked, and it helped. Mm-hmm. And then I realized years later, when business owners were asking me, how do you do this? Can you teach me? That they were struggling with the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think this kind of pressure in business ownership is different for women? And how would you communicate that?
I think the difference is that women are naturally, they naturally lean towards being a caretaker. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just wired in our DNA. We want to help everybody. And that's great until you have nothing left to give. Mm-hmm. The other thing we have a hard time is letting go of people. Mm-hmm. Because we care and we see their
I know. I'm just learning that. Like that was one of the hardest things. Yeah.
And
we see the potential.
It is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But also realizing you have a business to run, mm-hmm. and by holding on to someone, you're actually holding them back. Because mm-hmm. if it's not a right fit for you, it's probably not a right fit for them either.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are some of the things. But I also think that women are just superstars in business.
Oh yeah.
And the stats are there.
Tell us those. You have some.
I have the exact
right
now, but I do know what the stats show, that women-run companies are more successful. They are more profitable. Generally, in relationships, it's the woman that is running the finances.
Right. So, running the house and the finances and pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
They know how to be that orchestrator. Like that's part of that.
Yeah,
if we can get over the things that hold us back.
And I love working with men, and mm-hmm. we have some great men on our team as well, and great leaders, but we bring different things to the table.
Yeah.
And so if we can harness our strengths, we can be, a power team. I think women are phenomenal at building relationships, and relationships are the key to business.
Yeah.
And I think men are really good at just getting to the point. Mm-hmm. So we can learn from them, and they can learn from us.
Yeah. How do you think, we're all on a mental health journey, and I think that oftentimes we confuse the mental health journey with mental illness. Yeah. We're not all struggling with mental illness, right? But we're all on a mental health journey. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's shifting in this new generation and employees and the whole business around, there's almost this idea that we need to care for our employees in that mental health space. How do you see mental health showing up in business?
I really feel, and we have incorporated, we call it integration, but we've incorporated it a lot throughout our community and Pinnacle Global Network, because we see, look, we were all raised in the hustle culture. Mm-hmm. I know I was. My family, they grew up in the Depression and all of that, and it was just work. And it's not sustainable.
Right.
And so it's just like if the plane's going to crash, you got to give yourself oxygen first before you take care of everybody
I
else.
tell that story all the time.
Yeah. And so that's this idea that I talk about a team-managed company, because if you really are going to sustain and actually thrive in the future, you've got to have a team that is helping to move that vision forward.
Right.
Because you won't be able to carry it all.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. So we have to feed ourselves. We have to feed our soul. We have to feed our bodies. We have to get enough sleep. And it's something that I work on all the time.
Right.
I was a homeopathic physician. That was one of my companies for 20 years. And so I'm a big believer in holistic health, and so I do all those things for me. But even for me, because I'm so passionate about the business, I have to watch it for myself to go, okay, put the computer away, shut it down, take the day off, the weekend off,
right.
Deserve it.
Right. Yeah, so tell us about that journey from kind of having some anxiety, figuring out the Scale It method. What were you doing then for your own mental health journey? Yeah.
Well, at that point, I was pretty much a wreck. And then I was going through a divorce, too, so it wasn't pretty. And that's when I discovered homeopathy was really in my own health journey.
Okay.
And I didn't even know what it was. I grew up in Oklahoma in the Midwest, and so it had such a profound effect on my life. I felt like it just helped me kind of find myself again. I started getting into modern dance, and then the flying trapeze.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to be like you when I grow up. Are you still able to do any of that?
Oh, I do.
My gosh.
I tried to tease a couple times a week at least.
I tried to do a ninja class, which is not even nearly as close, but it's really hard. Like the grip strength and the upper body strength is not something we have really ever trained in our life if you are not in that.
I was a gymnast growing up.
Okay.
And I had a set of uneven bars in my backyard since I was really young, and I think you get body memory, muscle memory.
Yes.
And so I had the grip strength, and I've been flying on the trapeze now for almost 30 years.
Woo!
And I think it's important to have passions outside of your business, and it helps to clear your head. When I'm up on that pedestal 40 feet in the air, you're not thinking of anything else. Like that would be...
You better not be thinking
really
of it.
Stupid. You got to stay super focused on what you're doing. But I definitely, when I'm up there, I'm facing my fears every time I climb that ladder. So it makes me more confident when I'm on the ground. And then back to your point a little bit earlier, I think there's a point where you build a level of resilience. So things now that happen, I just kind of go, okay, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Or in the past, it would be like, oh my God.
But I think if we don't learn that, because I work with a lot of people that get to especially this kind of mid-age, 50, 60, and they have been taking care of other people, running their business, doing all of these things, and they hit their capacity limit. We used to call it a nervous breakdown, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I don't know what to do from here. Do you see that in business as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is self-awareness. When you find yourself moving towards that line, and once you cross that line, it's going to take a while to get yourself back regulated again. So what are those warning signals for you? Is it having that funny sneeze? Is it where you're dragging in the morning? Is it that you find yourself more weepy or things are affecting you? So, okay, what can you double down on?
Right.
So for me, for instance, being in this amazing conference, you're in air condition a lot, right? and that affects me. And so I was lying in bed this morning and I thought, okay, when I get back, I'm going to get a Reiki treatment. I'm going to get a vitamin IV. Like, I need to give myself those extra resources to build my immune system. I'm going at a, pretty intense pace a lot of the time, and I do love that. But if you don't fuel the back end of your passion, you will run out even if you love it.
Yep. Yeah. And back to homeopathy. I know enough to be dangerous, so but I do know that, it talks a lot about the vital force, that we have the ability to heal from within, and, it uses this microdosing of things to kind of trigger that.
Most people.
Yeah. But I don't think the audience knows much about that. How did that help you? Because now you're doing Reiki and you're doing, so that was like the catalyst that started, that internal journey of mental strength and finding that power within, sounds like.
Yeah, and I worked with thousands of patients, so I saw this real correlation in working with people and all kinds of illnesses. And I work with a lot of physicians, cardiologists, oncologists, pediatricians, and I've always seen, almost always, say 99.99%, when someone comes in with an illness or even an injury, there's always an emotional component. Now, it's real symptoms, it's a real issue, but there's also a mirror within the body of something, some emotion, grief, anger, some sort of strain, stress going on. And so it really is to get to what homeopathy does is it gets to the core of what is that fire underneath. Instead of just, banging down the fire, fire alarms, which is the symptom, let's get to that, what is starting that fire in the first
And modern science is catching up with homeopathy, and, the book, Body Keeps the Score, I'm sure you've heard of, and I don't think people realize, the common person realizes that all of these things that you're not dealing with are accumulating and will manifest in physical symptoms.
They will manifest at some point. So you can't push them under the rug because it will just start growing. It's like saying there's this, hose and it, your emotions are coming out and you tie a knot in that hose, it's going to blow up somewhere else. But homeopathy is so gentle and there's no side effects. It's based on the law of similars. And it's energy medicine. It's really, and we are energy.
We are energy.
And so that for me was...
And emotions are energy.
And emotions are energy.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And our thoughts are energy. And so that also got me very much into quantum physics, which is my next book, which is about...
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Quantum physics in business, coming in 2027. You'll hear all about it.
That's perfect.
Very exciting. I'm excited about that. And because I feel that it's so much of in business is our energy and how we show up. And we are going to attract at the level that we show up in the world.
Right.
And so that really applies in how we attract employees and the energy we're creating for our customer experience. The energy around our vision and getting the team plugged into that vision. So it all really started.
Give us a sneak peek. It started with the homeopathy. I see the line. I think I'm on the same journey. I got into homeopathy when my son was very sick and we were trying everything. And everything that I would try would help me, but it wouldn't help him. And I know now that was his journey and, super spiritual shift for me as well in the big picture of that. But those things would help me. And I'm like, okay. And then, being able to see the energy, and my sister's a Reiki practitioner. I do a lot of trauma work with people around, really releasing that pain, otherwise it's going to come out physically.
Yeah. And we don't realize that we're holding it in. It's unconscious. We're driven by our unconscious. And so the work is to learn how to harness that conscious energy so that we can focus and create the life that we want. So.
I'll share something with you. I do a lot of manifestation and vision work and stuff. And, everyone says that, you're trying to find peace. And for me, peace is boring. Like, I'm this, I'm driven and I want like the next thing. And I realized that peace is an internal. It's not a boring. You can have peace and be productive at the same time, and harnessing that energy. Because I was always scared if I slowed down to really, manifest and do that inner work, that I would lose my drive. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I love about myself. Yeah.
I think it comes down to what is fueling the drive, right? So if it's where it's driven by fear, that you're afraid that you're not going to get there, and so you have to push extra hard. And believe me, I've done all levels of it. But I think, for myself, I've gotten to a place where I am having fun and enjoying the journey on the way to making it happen.
Yeah.
Because our life is what's happening right now.
Yeah. That has come up for me several times, that you're just kind of validating it, that journey, enjoying the journey.
Get there, and then we're going to be on to something else. And so enjoy almost the falling apart of things, because it opens up a new door.
Yeah. And
step back and examine it. Go, oh, okay, I understand. This is happening because it's moving me into this direction.
Yeah.
Right?
So tell me a little bit about the next book of quantum physics and how that, because a lot of people do mindsets and, vision this, and, I always say sometimes it sounds like magical thinking especially when a man teaches it. It's like, oh, just do this. And my struggle with that was always, I prayed, I manifested, I had positive thoughts like, I'm going to heal, my children are going to be healed.
Yes.
And none of those things happened. And so I had to it all fell apart. I had to build it back up. But there is real scientific truth to quantum physics. There's all these molecules, they actually respond to energy. They respond to thoughts. They respond to emotions. And so what you're going to present is different than kind of the stuff that's already out there, and bringing that science in.
What I'm talking about, the book is called Infinite Scale, and I don't have a subtitle yet.
Okay.
But it's something like the guide to fusing energy and strategy for exponential growth.
Ooh.
And the infinite piece is the energy, and the scale piece is our scale it method.
Right.
So the way I look at it is that you need structure in business, and you need a place to put the energy. But the structure without the flywheel of energy, you're just going to have incremental growth. We live in a limitless universe. There is no limit here, on either side, or below. So you can expand your business, scale your business. There is no limit, truly.
Yeah.
And so it's just understanding and harnessing the power of the universe. And so we have our 5 pillars of scale: strategic vision, cash flow, alliance of the team, leadership, and execution. But we've also weaved these energetic principles into each of those pillars. So really utilizing the energetic practices to attract clients, attract the right team members, align your vision, make difficult decisions, all of those things that you do in business.
Yeah.
But now you plug the energetic piece behind it, and I talk about all the science of it in the book.
Yeah.
And all kinds of great stories and so forth, but real practices. And I'll just say, from my own experience, in building all these companies, just the wildest things have happened where, doors have opened and people have approached me, deals have been made, where all I did was hold that vision and step into it and own it and expect it.
Yeah.
Because you will manifest what you expect.
Yeah. And you have to feel it.
And you have to feel it.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, I spent years in the vision and the senses of, I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna, envision it, but not feel it. And
yeah, there's still power in envisioning it, and a lot of the Olympic athletes do this, and they see themselves doing it. But feeling it takes it to a whole other level because it raises your energetic frequency. And when we feel things, like we know, when we feel good, we're in alignment. When we feel bad, when we feel friction, we are out of alignment.
Yeah.
And so that is our telltale signal that we're going off course.
Yeah.
But when you do tap in and you are feeling that great feeling, and you can focus yourself into that feeling. It's not like I wake every day and go, I'm not a morning person, but when I do my vision crafting in the morning, which I do every morning, I'm so groggy at the beginning, but about 30 minutes in, I am ready to take on the day. I'm excited, I'm feeling grateful, I'm clear on my intentions, I see in my mind, I feel how it's going to roll out, I feel it in my cells.
Yeah.
And it literally changes what you experience moving forward.
Share the vision crafting. I can guess what I think it is, but tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so like you, I'm a very driven entrepreneur, and my husband, when we would go to meditate, he'd just pop into that meditation. He could sit there for an hour, and I'd be like, fidgeting, like, oh, I'm bored, But I also knew the power of this. I had experienced law of attraction in different ways in my earlier years, but I had never really made a practice of it. And so I had some incredible things happen, and I thought, what is wrong with you, Allison? Why don't you do this every day? Like, if you're doing this sort of meditation occasionally and you're having these kinds of results, what if you did it every day? And so since I struggled to get into meditation, what I do, what the vision crafting process is, and it will be in my new book, is I turn on something like on YouTube that's inspiring right when I wake up. Right when I wake up, so that my brain isn't going to go to what didn't work out yesterday or what I'm overwhelmed on.
So not trying silence.
Yeah, no, silence for me, probably not a good idea at the beginning.
Okay.
Because it's just the way your brain is wired, because it's trying to fix things.
Right.
It's trying to protect you.
No, yeah, me too. I wake up every morning. What do I need to fix today? Yeah.
Yeah, so I listen to Wayne Dyer, I would listen to Esther Hicks, I listen to anything that's inspiring for me. And then I pull out my journal and I write down what I'm grateful for, like really grateful. I woke up, I'm breathing today, I love my husband, I love my dogs, all the things. And I already start to feel better, to feel good feeling, because gratitude is just that. It's the key that makes the shift. It like rewires your brain. And then I write down what I'm grateful for as if it's already happened. So what are my future intentions? But I'm writing how it's already happened. So for instance, we're expanding globally, and so I would write something like, I'm so grateful our team in Singapore is thriving, and we had the best time when we went to visit them, and stuff like that. And then I turn on some music, and I have a special playlist that's like my happy music, and I close my eyes and I see that in my mind. I see the whole unfolding of being in Singapore and helping all of these incredible founders there and growing this entrepreneurial community there, and what that's like. Then I write down my intentions, like what are the intentions for us for this quarter or this year, and I do it in every area of my life. And if I don't have time, if I'm more in a hurry, I have it all written down and I'll just read it out loud. And then I close my eyes again, and I just really take myself through, that visually, emotionally, and then I also write down my glimpses. The glimpses for me are the evidence that it's already happening. It's not like that for me, the vision is, oh, it's all done. We've got these mentors there. They're trained. We have the whole community. No, it's the unfolding of it. It's meeting these people and seeing them become excited and having them introduced to the work that we do. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I started, you write down, what is the evidence? The people that you're introduced to out of the blue, that was the perfect person, or you ended up in the class that was exactly what you needed to hear.
Yeah.
To me, I really believe that that's not a mistake. That was meant to happen. So those are just the reminders. Stay the course. You're on the course. And then at that point, then I'm able to just close. It takes me all that point to close my eyes and just get into a meditative state.
Okay.
And even if it's for 5 minutes, my whole mind, body,
like receiving all the things that you, I love it.
I'm ready to start.
Then you're ready.
Yeah.
Love it. So last question, what are you learning today? Like, we're all learning, continuously learning. What are you learning?
I would say for me, it is a couple things. One is really trusting my intuition. And I've gotten to a place where I just sense, not a good fit, not in alignment. It's really, things are either in alignment for me or they're not. And in times when I knew that and I didn't speak up, you regret it later. Right? Starts out as a whisper and then it's a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to get it when it's a whisper. So that is definitely something that I'm focusing on.
Thank you for saying that, because I think that's been a big thing for me. And I'm very intuitive, and all of the business type things, I've snuffed that, and I'm just now realizing I knew that, but and I should have trusted my intuition,
trusting yourself.
But I was trusting whatever I was reading at the time,
and speaking up.
Yeah.
And willing to face the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Someone being mad at you. A fallout, people disagreeing. But you really have to trust that inner voice.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.